What up, dogs? tejbz here, and to the face. So I have a team deathmatch on Highrise using the Famas, and it's a good score, it's a fast-paced gameplay, and you guys just kick it back and listen, because I opened my Twitter like, oh shit, what am I gonna talk about in this gameplay? And then the first tweet I saw was a guy that had tweeted tweeted at me, but with another guy, and said, oh, I know the tejbz has Crohn's, and I clicked up all the tweets, and this guy said, I have just been diagnosed with Crohn's and it sucks. I feel really down about it, and I was like, shit. And he was not old, and it kind of inspired me to, because if there's, I talk a lot, and if there's anything that I can say to make anything feel better, or just get a little bit, you can feel recognition in it. You're like, oh, that happened to me, or whatever. I felt like I need to talk about this. I need to start, and I'm gonna start at the beginning. Try not to be so long about the beginning. But what happened was that when it was summer and I was 14, and I've had a bad stomach for a full month. I've had pretty much diarrhea, which sucks, and my stomach was really bad. I was starting to lose weight. I was going to the bathroom a lot, and so I told this to my mom and my dad, and my mom said, oh, that does not sound good, and she said if it keeps on going for a week, you should just eat like proper food and just take it easy, but if it keeps on going, we're gonna go see a doctor. And it kept going, and I kept losing weight. I started to get really tired from everything, so we went to the doctors and we took a blood sample, and they asked me like, oh, how often do you poop and whatever. I was like, and I'm sure there's a couple of people like, oh, stop talking about poop, but I think if there's anything I can do is just talk about this. So the test results came back maybe a week later. I remember coming home from school being pretty happy. I'm not really sure what I was thinking about, but I came home and I noticed immediately when I came into my house that my mom was pretty sad, and I was like, shit, something's up. And I was only 14, but I could realize that even then. And so she asked me, like, do you want something to eat? Do you like? And I was like, sure, I'll have a sandwich. And then she told me like, oh, the doctor called and the results indicate that you may have a disease called Crohn's. So I was like, what the fuck is that? You know, like I don't feel sick or anything. I mean, I felt tired, but. And then, so we had to go to the hospital, and do a colonoscopy. I had to like flush out all the stuff that was in my bowels, and put a tube with a little camera up in my butt. I was asleep during this, but I have done colonoscopies twice awake, and let me tell you, the drugs that they give you during that are awesome. I'm like, yeah, and then, but I'm not a fan of having tubes up my butt, but that really sucked. And Crohn's is still a big ass part of my life. It affects me, and if there's anything that you ever wonder, I'll try to get to your tweets if there are about Crohn's. I read pretty much all my tweets, but if there are like a question that I've answered in a Q&A or something like that, I tend not to answer them. And it's not because I want to be, you know, like a douchebag or anything, but it takes a lot of time to answer all the questions. But that was pretty much what happened when I got it, and now I've come to terms with it. But it's still sometimes I can just like, you know, like, fuck, I don't want to have this. But you got to be alive, and every time I think to myself that if I would die in a year, I would rather have lived my life to the fullest with the medication that I take to make me feel better. So yeah, that was a little beginning. Let me know if you want to hear more, and leave a comment and like the video. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.